Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a special Memorial Day edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Oman along with Keith Fuster. We've got 8 on tap today with 2 pick 5s with low 12% takeout. Which should be a nice day, nice cool day, good for the horses.
Yeah, definitely a day we want to honor and remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for us, allowing us to enjoy this great game. And no, this is an interesting little card. The pick 5's tough. I mean, we got to race 5 yesterday. Unfortunately, we were on the lead and couldn't quite hold on. But yeah, the conditions are good. Looking forward to a good day.
Sad news to report yesterday, of course, with Christophe Clement, just a legendary trainer, passing away. Of course, he saddled Tonalist to win the Belmont Stakes, countless graded stakes winners on the turf, especially several here in Maryland.
Yeah, he has done well here in Maryland when he ships down here. We're actually going to see one of his runners. Looks like next week. Otello going to be the favorite. His son taking over all the training duties. But, yeah, very tough loss there.
I think he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yes. I mean, the resume is certainly there.
Speaking of resumes, someone in the Charm City Pick 5 on opening day on Friday hit the grand prize of $1,000. Their top pick in each of the last 5 races, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We got to hire them for our handicapping guide. They got the $1,000 grand prize. Remember, you can still register to play the Charm City Late Pick 5 online handicapping contest. It is free to play. For all of the details, charmcitypick5.com. Pick and pray every racing day on the last 5 races on the card. The contestant with the highest cumulative earnings at the end of the meet gets the grand prize.
Yeah, it's just something fun to play along. It keeps you involved, and it hopefully gets you also playing our races. So that's the biggest thing. We want that money in the pot.
Let's take a look at our weather conditions today. A little bit overcast and cloudy today, but the main track is fast. The turf is firm. 64 degrees right now. Maybe if it just warms up a little bit, I'll be not freezing my bones.
It's not too bad out here. It's a little tricky up underneath the paddock here. The roof, it gets a little chilly, a little wind kind of swirls around, but it's not too bad today. First race today, we had a really good winner in the first yesterday in Roja. Pretty impressive runner for Motion, a 75 buyer. But the first race today, maiden special weights going a mile.
Going a mile. This race is for the Maryland bred or sired. Again, it's a new condition here at the Maryland Jockey Club. Let's take out the 8 and the 10. This, of course, is the first leg of our first of 2 value pick 5 wagers. 50-cent minimum bet, but it is great value because of the low 12% take. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't get involved.
Yeah, these things can pay, and even with, you get a run. Yesterday we were talking about it, Vinny and I, going into the last race. We were just shocked at the will pays into the pick 5. So please join along. You might strike something and really carry you for quite a while. But this opening pick 5, like I said yesterday, we got to race 5, just couldn't quite get you through. We're going to try it today with an $18 ticket. Pretty reasonable. It's not an easy sequence. 6, 7, 11 to get you started in the opener. A couple horses coming off a little bit of a layoff, the 6 and the 7. Very capable turf barns. They win turf or dirt. It doesn't matter. Woolley and Merriman. Race 2 with the 3 and the 4. Fluff the Pillow going to take a ton of play in race 2 on the drop for Ness. Race 3. And narrow it down. I think White Lilac's going to be the one to catch. See if she can go coast to coast. She is Whiskey. Came back with a vengeance off the break. Single race 4. Now this is a horse, not normally. I usually don't do this, and I'm just going to take the shot. I had to do it somewhere along the way to keep this ticket a little bit more manageable. Schrader was, I don't know where it came from. Let's hope we can get 90% of that effort back. Maybe 85 might even do it for us, but we'll go ahead and take the shot on Schrader. So like 0 blitz in there a little bit. I know you like Metagooch. Race 5, we'll wrap it up with the 2, the 3, and the 10. That's another doozy of a race. Race 5, 5.5 on the turf for the 2 in lifers. $18 ticket, 12% low takeout.
We'll start things off with your top selection in the opener. That's the number 6, Magical Mondays. This horse showed ability in his one and only turf start last year. It was his career debut. We're going to take a look.
Yeah, this was a really good effort from the 10 post. And a little bit more unusual. The Woolley horses usually not this forward, this soon in debut. They're kind of, most of them settle further back. This one was up closer to the pace. only 3-4 out of it through the opening quarter half, but really ramps things up and actually pins in the favorite there, the Duarte runner, down inside and gets the jump. I think just a little bit green.
Yes.
Laying in here when it goes to the lead in mid-stretch, just couldn't quite hold on. Working outward as outrunner with a big run.
Switches to the left lead, then switches to the right lead. But look at the acceleration after going 3 wide on the turn to make the front and then just get run down in the shadow of the wire by the favorite who got him at the end. Finished ahead of 2 next out winners in that race. And Tim Woolley with third out maidens does very well, very well. 27% winners, a $10.56 ROI. Take the last race with many grains of salt. The race was on dirt. I really believe that this is a turf horse, and getting Lasix for the first time, and Jorge Ruiz gets back aboard.
Absolutely. I like the Lasix on, and outrunner, that horse that you saw roll home to nail him at the wire. He came back to run a strong race at Monmouth next time out.
My top pick in here is the 11, Radiant Tones. This is a horse that showed good early speed last time out, and I really didn't think got much of a breather. 24.08 for the first quarter, 24.42 for the second quarter, 25 for the third quarter. Still hung in there to finish second, was being pressured by the third place finisher all the way around the track. Second best that day for a barn that sent out C. Bogdan to win on turf at Pimlico back on May the 11th at 6-1. You came up with a late trainer stat.
Yeah, we had a little trainer stat. Now that was the high view. That was the Woolley Firster, I think, that went ahead and ran down Radiant Tones last time out. But Milan Milosevic, the last 3 years on the turf, 3 for 16, 19%, 7 for 16 in the money. With experienced runners, a second-time Lasix. Look at that ROI. It'll catch your eye at 364. Again, Basic Miles did show some speed on the go-back. Maybe that one will be a little bit more forward. I think Radiant Tones kept the right kind of company further back on the page. I think he can stalk if needed.
I think he can stalk if needed, but he should be right in the thick of things when the field turns for home. The number 7, Silk Suit. Please note this horse is listed as a gelding. It will be a first-time gelding for this race. We have not seen Silk Suit in over a year, a race where he was wired, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. First time for Lizzie Merriman, a barn going very well. This horse is a lot more mature in his 4-year-old debut.
Exactly what I've got written down here. Peach of a Gal, bottom side, she was good. Stakes place multiple times on the turf, and it was a key race. Coming back and looking at that, I think Silk Suit's going to be ready. Was a little bit green, had to kind of settle well back, work between horses, quarter pole. Went outside and then was really tough to handle for the ride of the last 3/16 of a mile. Was fighting this horse, just laying in multiple times with Carrasco. Once straightened, finished up okay. Yeah, tab that. Reported first-time gelding. I think you're going to see a really good Silk Suit today.
And one of those horses that came out of that race earned a 72 Beyer speed figure when placing in a maiden special weight on turf at Delaware. So that looks like a legitimate race. We'll have to overcome a long layoff, but I do trust this barn. I wonder if the pace does get hot, if the 2 Pietrelcina is going to make a strong late bid. This horse ran very well off the layoff last year and is using the sort of similar preparation strategy for the barn. They sent this horse out on March 15th, point-to-point race, ran third going 1.25 miles. They ran this horse April 20th, 2.25 miles over the hurdles, ran 8th. So this is not your run-of-the-mill layoff. This horse has had 2 races, non-betting races or non-parimutuel races, but I think is going to be fit enough and will come running late.
Again, has faced the right kind, just doesn't have any, shown really any speed whatsoever, but the willingness has been there, finishing up every race okay, and saved the last one going back off the layoff, before the layoff. But I think this horse is definitely a player, for Sheldon and Danielle Hodson.
6-7-11-2 for Keith, 11-6-7-9 for me in the opener on Memorial Day at Laurel Park. Let's move on to race number 2 and back to the main track, 1 mile and a 16th. It's a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up. These are non-winners of 2 life, 10,000 down to 8,000, the claiming price. This is the first of our pick 4 wagers of the afternoon, 50-cent minimum bet in the pick 4. Let's start things off with the horse that's going to be a big favorite in here, and that is a horse taking a drop in class. We have a video spotlight for the number 4, Fluff the Pillow.
Yeah, and Nessa's had a lot of success with these horses coming into this barn. A little bit of trouble out of the gate in that race on the 13th of April. Bobbled slightly, had to kind of rush up into contention and got there. What was interesting to me is, I don't know if this guy just lost a little bit of focus once we turned for home, but I thought we're going to get to it right here. He made a little move up to it. This horse drops in, and he just hesitated slightly and then was dead flat from there. Just no pickup whatsoever through the last eighth of a mile. He has plenty enough speed against this group. I think I feel bad for your son. The horse just to his inside with Sarah Del Fabro will be active early and trying to go to the front. They don't go too quick. This could be a lineup around the racetrack.
I think that's a very fair point, and I think it was a very fair point which you saw with Fluff the Pillow when that horse dropped inside. Perhaps Jamie was just a little bit aggressive off the graduation for 20 in New York, running him for 20 here. He's dropping him down to 10. The horse States United that won that race came back to win his third straight the other day in an off-turf race at Delaware with a 74 buyer. I just think Fluff the Pillow's tactical enough to sit close to I Feel Bad for You, Son. But Sarah's had success with I Feel Bad for You, Son in the past when putting this horse out on the lead. They couldn't make the lead last time out. They're making it here.
Yeah, these two, they are going to control things early. Nobody in this race has anywhere close I can see to their kind of pace if things heat up. The other horses in the race are very similar, save for Pure Realization with Silent Roar, Portis, True Faith. Same kind of style, sit, lag back a little bit and try to grind it out. They're going to need some help up front. Silent Roar I'll throw in there for third, give me a little bit better price.
It was interesting that the last time Silent Roar raced around 2 turns, the horse showed surprising speed.
He did, yeah.
Went to the front that day, pressed by the 9-5 horse that finished way out of it. Really was battling all the way around and tried hard all the way to the wire. So maybe Villalobos will try to get this horse a little bit closer to the pace, although I don't think Silent Roar is as fast as the 3. Let's talk about True Faith. Talk about a horse that's slow from the gate. Yeah. This horse, that's been the story of his career, but he is taking a little bit of a drop in class for Henry Walters, who sent out Fitness to win at Pimlico at 3-2 odds on May the 15th. Turf to dirt angle. The horse that beat him 2 starts back at Penn National came back to win with a 67 buyer. That was a key race.
I like the drop back. He needs to drop back down. And he's had a couple situations, maybe some premature wide moves in his races that forced the hand a little bit early, maybe into some slower paces. I think that's the first thing he's got to do. Let the speeds go. Get right over to the inside. I mean, as a young rider, you've got to learn. You've got to save ground in these races. It's going to help you more than hurt you. So I'm looking for Yetz to drop in, settle, and try to save some ground before working outward for the final, say, 5/16 or quarter.
But we're thinking the likely favorite, Fluff the Pillow, drops and pops in race number 2, the first leg of our pick 4, 4-3-1-6 for Keith, 4-3-6-5 for me. Race number 3 is on the turf, mile and a 16th event, one of those starter optional claiming events for fillies and mares. Let's take out the 1, the 5, and the 8. This is the first leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. If you're the only one who picks the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races on the card, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is yours and yours alone. She Is Whiskey, I think, is the horse they're all going to have to go through, especially if She Is Whiskey runs back to the race we're just going to show you. We have a video spotlight, and this is a race off of the layoff. And She Is Whiskey, let's be honest, looked like a winner every step of the way.
Yeah, you see the comment, rated in between, had plenty of run through the binoculars the whole way, and is able to kind of work a trip out, has to angle, and then just surges clear. She is now, won 3 of her last 4. She's been able to perform off a layoff. There's a little work outside here up to about the 4-path, leaving the 3/16, but brings a strong run. Jan Rodriguez is back. But tell you what, this field now down to 5 horses. White Lilacs hasn't been seen since the middle of March. Only 4 races under its belt through the last year and a half, but back to the turf, back with Pinot, back numbers, the right kind of horses on the go back. I think it's all or nothing for White Lilacs. I think this is a horse that might be able to just go ahead, get to the front, and nurse.
Well, I agree. This horse is going to get to the front, and these scratches really help White Lilacs, who is a turf horse. 6 for 11 lifetime on turf, and they ran this horse last time. First off, almost a 400-day layoff on the synthetic, sprinting, and you can tell that was a good fitness builder, showing good speed in the first start back. Okay, the horse faded. Supposed to be tired, sprinting off a 400-day layoff. This time around, more appropriate distance, more appropriate surface, and more appropriate pace. An interesting pace play, to be sure. Let's talk about Maximo Madness, the number 6 in here. Now, this horse really got a setup last time out. They were blazing the way on turf, and this horse came with a nice run to finish 5th, earned a career best best buyer speed figure. But was that buyer earned because just the flow was there for Maximo Madness, and it could be a 180-degree different situation here?
As Tim Tulloch likes to say, kind of got carried to that fig, that 79. I think that was part of it. Does have a couple wins, 2 of the 3 wins on the turf. Again, will the flow be there? First time in the barn for Ferris Allen.
Stage Call is another horse that has run well, showing versatile style of running. The wins have come when she's been far out of it, but she can stay closer to the pace. And what I like about Stage Call is this horse won fresh last year off the layoff. So I have a feeling that Alexandra White's going to have Stage Call ready to go. It's all about whether she gets the right trip and the right flow.
And I think a couple of these will have to regress a little bit for her to win.
Keith's
Might happen. Yeah.
Keith's going, hoping that White Lilacs goes gate to wire, and then Keith will go wire to window to cash. I'll go with She Is Whiskey to back up the most recent race. Phil Capuano had a nice Pimlico meet with a couple of winners. 3-4-6-2 for me, 3-4-6-2 for Keith, 4-6-2-3 for me in race number 3. Not used to 4 days of racing. Race number 4 coming up. We're going to go 6 furlongs on the main track. We're going to take out the number 7. That is Kissling. Morning line favorite, and here is the 5, Schrader. And you talked about Schrader. This is, of course, a race for starter optional claimers. A lot of times you have to believe your eyes in this business. I'm not sure I believe my eyes in this race coming up with Schrader as we get set for the value pick 5, the second of 2 at the low 12% takeout. Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket. I'm curious to see if Max got Schrader. She does.
Not single, though. Like this.
You mentioned zero blitz,
like
though.
this goofball here. Yeah, 0 blitz. I've got in the mix as well. She goes 4-5 to get this late value pick 5 started. Again, 12% takeout. Race 5, she sees it wide open. I do as well. 2, 3, 7, and 10. Like that Ellinger. Frock. Watch out for the frocks. Race 6 with the 5 and the 6. Beach Cowboy, Mr. Agent. Yeah, they look like they kind of go out there. Come and get them if you can in race number 6. Race 7, 2, 3, and 5. Yeah, Gladstone could offer some value there. I like that one with the blinkers going on, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and race 8, wrap it up. Genie and a Bridle, Spirited Ride for Farrier. It's a $48 late value pick 5.
12% takeout. Best bet in the business is the Laurel Park value pick 5, whether it be early or late. Now let's watch Schrader's most recent start on the dirt. And again, I don't know where this race came from, but it was super, super impressive because Schrader's already taken over, and from here he just names his margin. And the race was legit. Beat a couple of next out winners. The question is, can this horse run back to that 79 buyer? Did all of a sudden the light bulb go on and he figured it out?
Well, this is a situation. He was on the better part of the racetrack. I've got that marked as a slightly outside day, dueling 3 wide. He stayed there, decided not to drop inside, but just, again, annihilated this group. When this race was over, we all looked at each other and were like, where did that come from? We saw the time up on the board, 10-4, and just the way he kind of just ran through the wire. I like this horse early on in his career, though. He showed some talent to me. You go back, he ran a 59 in that third career start at Colonial, where he kind of turned away a rival. Ran against Reggie Runs. Rogue, a good horse, ran very big there. Maybe everything's coming together for Schrader. Taking one last shot. Here's a stat.
Now, when Hugh McMahon gets them good, they often stay good. Last out winners returning on dirt, 5 for the last 15 at a $2.53 ROI. Now, my top pick, the number 6, Metagooch, has a similar profile.
Yeah.
Where did his last race come from? We do have a trainer's stat for Phil Capuano off the claim. First off the claim, 3 for the last 11, 27% right on the money. $2 return on investment. Maybe this horse is a wet track move up. The last 2 races came on wet tracks. It produced the both best buyer speed figures of his career, but he ran well on dirt 3 and 4 back, and I like the fact that he's got the tactical speed that he can sit close to the pace while outside and in the clear. Again, the Capuano barn has been going well. You've always been a fan of Metagooch. Maybe he just found the right spot last time.
Last time out, it was the right kind of draw. When you looked at that field off the turf, he was the speed. He came away cleanly from the inside with Boca Chica, and it was over. He can handle some pressure, and that was the right kind of group. Now he changes barns, but he's always been a trier. You say he's, 8 for 13 in the money with a couple wins, 5 seconds. He can stay sitting just outside and spy this speed if needed. Fear Nothing will probably go, I would think, his hand might be forced from the inside to go ahead and go. Schrader with that speed, but Metagucha stalk and move in. Will he sustain that last 16th of a mile? Zero Blitz is a horse that is on the improve for me. Going for trainer Joanne Schenkel, first off the claim. I like that move. This horse showing the ability to close, go up to the front. Sharp through the wire last time, visually through the binocs for me with Zero Blitz. I'm going to come back and use this one.
I thought maybe he might have raced on the best part of the track last time. I thought the rail was very, very good on April the 18th. But that being said, this horse, I think, has the most upside potential of any in the race. And just on figures alone, I think, is right there and could get the right setup. Zero Blitz, if this horse goes off at close to the 4-1 morning line, I think is very, very dangerous. And as for Fear Nothing, I agree with you. I think this horse is the speed and nearest the inside. Just got cooked on the lead last time out. His second race off of a lengthy layoff. I think third off the bench, he might not have to work as hard to get to the front.
You see him in there with Schrader, with Metagooch, but he's formidable. He does work in here. His speed's going to take him a ways.
5, 4, 6, and 3 for Keith. We'll see if Schrader can do it again. We'll see if Metagooch can do it again. 6, 5, 1, 2 for me. 4 down, 4 to go on Memorial Day. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the late pick 4. Back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. Special Memorial Day edition. We'll move on to the late pick 4. Race number 5 is at 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's a claiming event for 3 and up. Now winners at 2 life. 16 down to 12-5. Making a morning line for this race, I thought, was an impossible task. They all can win. The 1 Ace or Chance-a-Lot part of the entry is out, as are the other also eligibles, 11 through 14. I want to start with your top selection. That's the number 10, Ellinger, after I mention that this is the first leg of the 50-cent late pick 4 wager. Some nice prices recently. Get involved in the pick 4. Again, 50-cent minimum play. Ellinger tries turf for the first time and has got a huge pedigree.
Yeah, we've talked about Bacomas. The horses are running. They're running on any surfaces, and you know, I like that. I like when you dig a little bit deeper to that bottom side. I know you've got some extra notes with second dam, 4 for 7. It's a horse Dowry's run primarily longer. That's good. That's fine. Had speed going long, 88 top figure. I like the draw. This horse had a brutal beginning at Pimlico on that muddy sealed surface last time out. Looking at the speed, Scrappy T. Lee, I think is one that's certainly going to go. But I think with an alert break, Ellinger, and you see that bottom side stamina build up, this horse can shadow and keep going.
Ellinger's going to be close to the pace. Scrappy T. Lee should go. Tick-Tock Daddy likely to be close. But Ellinger, while we like the Vacomas, you see Charles Frock does very well. Experienced horses, first-time turf, limited positive, 2 for the last 10, 284 ROI. But this horse's dam is a half to Nerid, who won the American Oaks, a grade 1 on turf. She's a half to Sea Queen, who was a stakes winner on turf with a 90 buyer speed figure on the surface. This, I think, is what Ellinger wants to do, and if Ellinger can run, and if he can get out of the gate a little bit better, I think we're going to see the real Ellinger today. Sneaking Suspicion, we need to see the real Sneaking Suspicion, because Sneaking Suspicion just lacks a winning profile. But guess what? T.J. Aguirre sent out Benny Havens to win at Pimlico at a big price, and Benny didn't exactly have a winning profile coming into that race. Sneaking Suspicion's been racing on dirt recently. I thought the most recent start on turf was interesting, going 1 mile and a 16, sort of saved ground in mid-pack. Looked like was in with a chance turning for home, and then just flattened out against those $30,000 claimers. So in for the 12-5 here. This is some class relief. And I actually don't mind this horse turning back to 5.5. Maybe it's a little bit too sharp, but the fact that this horse flattened out a bit going 1 mile and a 16th, 5.5, second wire finish. Let's go Sneaking Suspicion kick late. Kevin Gomez had a winner yesterday.
I said it a month or two ago on this show. I said Sneaking Suspicion. I'm waiting for him to turn back in distance. Let's go sprinting on the lawn. It's here. I'm using him. Yes.
Upside Down Man is the number 3. This is another horse that certainly fits. Making the first start for Kieran McGee. This horse has bounced around from barn to barn, route to sprint, dirt to turf. There are angles.
I'm just hoping this barn change, and you know, nothing against Troy Singh and everything like that, just something. clicks them back. Let's get back to where we once were. This horse had some big races over the grass sprinting. I'm definitely going to use this first time with Kieran. He's done well with some of these horses off the break.
Number 9 is Up in Flames. This horse made the turf debut last time out and just had the misfortune to catch a razor-sharp horse. Cactus is, I believe, 3 for 3 now on turf after coming back and winning at Pimlico with an 80 Beyer speed figure. I think this horse has a little bit more early speed than what we saw in that last race.
Agreed. He's going to have to be put into the race a little sooner, I believe. But it says Miss Just Right. It was just for a stride or two. We put that in there just as a wake-up. But the Beyer certainly works. The field certainly works. It's a big change going from a field like with Cactus to this. So that should definitely help the chances for this Salzman Jr. runner.
I made a tepid favorite, the 6 TikTok Daddy, even though he hasn't been out since December. The last time he ran on turf was a close third, but this horse was entered at Penn and scratched way back on January the 9th, is going to have to deal with the layoff. But the horse that beat him back at Laurel 2 starts back, came back, ran second, I believe, in an allowance race. First level, 75 Beyer.
Yeah, this is a brutal race to line. I could see why he can go there. He's been pretty consistent on the turf. He's kind of got that just enough speed against this group to lay close enough. I think, again, we talked about that covered up trip. I think it could work for TikTok Daddy. He had a tendency to just flatten a little bit in some of those races. The longer you can hold that run, say maybe the 3/16, almost to the 8th hole, and then just let him roll from there.
Even General Maximus, a horse who has some pedigree, a half to Sunny Inspired, a very versatile horse that was also a stakes winner sprinting on the turf. You can go so many different ways to kick off the late pick 4. Keith's going 10-3-2-9. I'm going 2-10-9-3. Race number 6 is coming up. Let's take a peek at this field. We're going 7/8 of a mile. It's a nickel claimer, beaten claimer for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race since November 26, or which have never won 4 races. This field attracted 8. I want to start with Mr. Agent,
Yes,
my top selection in here after we discuss the Jackpot Super High 5. A carryover's growing, Keith. 3,204. 15% takeout, I think reasonable for the Jackpot Super High 5. Let's keep growing the pot, or let someone take it down today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation I think we're both going to work around Sanchez Solomon and Joanne Shankel. You like me. I like Mr. Agent better. I like him at the 7/8. I'm going to let you talk about it. You had great notes about this horse in its most recent race, those internals that he battled through.
He has never really got a break, Mr. Agent, that day. First quarter mile, 23.23. Second quarter mile, 23.60. And this horse really isn't a speed horse, and he's not only going fast, he's being pressured by several other horses. He came off the rail in the stretch and tired. That race was an open 7,500. He's double dropping into the 5,000 beaten here. The 4th place finisher from that last race came back and earned a 60 Beyer when placing, and we do have the trainer stat for Joanne Shankel. Route to sprint, 3 for the last 14, 21%, 239 ROI. I also like horses cutting back to 7/8 of a mile, and I think that Mr. Agent is going to let Beach Cowboy go this time and sit and finish.
I love the draw outside of Beach Cowboy today to go ahead and just shadow. And once again, when you're looking at this field, they are the true speeds of the race. They've been able to carry it a little bit. Beach Cowboy was dead game chasing Abuela Pass. And got away with a softer opening quarter, and it wasn't that fast if Pimlico carried it. We can go ahead and watch this race. But, again, I think they're going to possibly try to line up. Let's Beach Cowboy go to the front and rate Mr. Agent, shadow, and go by. But this is a good effort because Abuelo Paps came back. It was a Kieran runner that was sharp in return and got away at a huge price. So we're still depressed over this not getting down enough on Abuelo Paps.
Beach Cowboy ran well in this race, but you'll notice he did change back to his left lead at the end, and it was a race where there was just no closing going on. They ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way around the track. I'm a little bit concerned about Beach Cowboy going 7 furlongs. I think he might be slightly better at 6. Maybe if Mr. Agent collars him at the top of the stretch, he can get the better of Beach Cowboy at 7. But no doubt, Beach Cowboy's in good form, and he finished ahead of 3 of these rivals in the race we just showed.
And if things get kind of a little bit contested early, say the 3/8 pole, you're talking about out of that race. Who was hampered? Toast to Coast. This is a horse going back that is okay. He can get the 7/8 of a mile. He certainly works in here, especially if things get kind of cooking mid-turn.
He was in the race we just saw, and he was down inside and tried to come up the rail. Maybe he was a little bit more pace compromised in the fact that they ran 1-2 around and could get a little bit more hitting here. And worth noting at the 2 Sumo, Brinton Arnold welcomed the horse racing. First ever ride for a 10-pound apprentice.
Saw that. I said, I don't recognize that name. Yeah, good to have you. Good job. Let's go, Brinton. And I think Sumo fits in here.
I've always liked Sumo at 7 furlongs. He has plenty of back races that make him tough. It's all about getting the right trip. 6-5, 8-2 for both of us in race number 6. It's late daily double time, one of my favorite times of the day. It's race number 7, mile and a 16th on the turf. What a good maiden claimer this is. A fascinating one. 45 down to 36 is the claiming price. Maryland bred and or sired can waive the claiming condition. We have 8 horses in this race, and I want to start with your top selection, the number 5, Gladstone. We have a video spotlight back in February at Gulfstream Park.
Good to see you got that one, this one into the mix. Gives me a little bit more confidence. Horse had a couple instances of trouble right out of the get-go. Had to steady soon after the break. We're going to watch that right there, the 7 this particular afternoon. And again, this horse gets in a little bit of trouble turning for home, quarter pole. We're going to watch this. Saves ground, kind of has to wait, is idle just a little bit, leaving the 3/8. So you're going to pick up a little bit of a steady. I don't know if they quite caught it down there, but I caught it. And you're going to see it right here, up on heels, right past the quarter to the head of the lane, right there. Right, loses a little bit of momentum, is going to have to work a trip from here, gets outside. I thought the finish was willing enough, closed a couple lengths from the 3/16 pole home. We're getting the addition of blinkers. We got Forrest Boyce, and again, you're looking at this field, predominantly horses that want to kind of come from off the pace. Do we know if this horse has any speed? Well, we're going to find out if with a cleaner break today and the blinkers going on. Boy, I'd like to see Forrest up on the front nursing.
Jane Sibeli, experienced horses, first-time blinkers, 5 for the last 23, a 326 ROI. I don't think this horse will make the lead, but I think this horse is going to be real close, and Forrest has been riding so great recently that Gladstone, I think he can depend on getting a good trip. Gladstone in that race, we saw the start, ended up getting wired. It was a race that produced a couple of next-out winners. The runner-up came back, boom, won 2 in a row. So I think this horse really fits.
Okay, good.
Let's talk a little bit about Chevy Man, the number 2. This is a horse that was formerly trained by Jane Sibeli, claimed out of his most recent start by McLean Hendricks. This one just missed last time out. I think you guys were a little uncharitable to Chevy Man last time out. I know it was an in-out trip, but he had to make a 4-wide bid entering the turn, was on a hard chase through a third quarter going 24.36, and he just got beat that day. He couldn't seal the deal with a horse that controlled the pace up front. Maybe Chevy Man off the layoff will be ready to go.
That was an odd number race. You're going to have to take that up with my man Willard. He's tough, boy. Tough as nails up there. He says hang, the horse hung. So there you go. But no, Chevy Man certainly works in here off a little bit of a break. A couple good races. This horse just, again, tries. Koru. It's another one I think you and Mac might have some info on this one, a little point-to-point action.
One of the wonderful things about Maryland racing is you can look at the PPs, and sometimes it's not all there. Koru last raced on August the 28th at Saratoga, right? Finishing third for Chad Brown. Well, not so fast. Laird George has had this horse twice in point-to-point races, finishing 8th in a mile-and-a-half race, 2nd in a mile-and-a-quarter race. This horse should be plenty fit, faced good competition in New York for Chad. And listen, I think has found the right field. If you just go by Beyer speed figures, this is the horse to beat.
Kind of jumps off the page, right? As a must-use in race number 7. I think another horse that's interesting. We saw the Dutch horse run really big yesterday. A stumble at the break kind of prompted the pace, tried to make a move and kept on going. I thought held quite well. Tears in Rain to 7. Blinkers on. First time gelding. Lasix going on. The family is there, Dan.
First time turf, but more importantly, perhaps, first-time distance. The Damn Balance was really a super horse on synthetic. I think a Grade 1 winner, but could also step on the turf, a stakes-place turf miler. She also happens to be a half-sister to a horse named Zenyatta, who wanted to go real long. Maybe Tears in Rain has just been waiting for the stretch out, and with the blinkers on, maybe this one is forward.
I agree with you. Let that one go, and I'll be just perfectly fine to see Gladstone stalking down inside.
We'll see if Tears in Rain, with all of those changes, finally puts it all together and runs to the pedigree. But Keith's going to go with Gladstone off that tough trip in the debut. I'll go with Chevy Man off the claim. 5-7-2-3 for Keith. 52351 for me. We'll wrap up our week here at Laurel Park with race number 8. 7 horses entered the 7 Watcher Tone Scratch. We're going a 1-turn mile for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 since November 26, or non-winners of 4 life. $5,000 is the claiming price. Let's talk about Genie in a Bridle. We have a video spotlight for Genie in a Bridle.
Can we overcome the negatives here? Voided claim, I think a recent vet scratch. We're still going to bite Genie in a Bridle. Open company last time out, dropping here into condition company. Haley B, Feiners Fillets came out of there to win, but this horse has done well at the 1-turn mile. It's a good effort.
Watch the try that Genie in a Bridle shows. Remember that Haley B is loose on the lead and is also 2-5. She's supposed to win this race, but Genie in a Bridle is just grinding away and actually makes this really close at the wire. And it's worth noting that Hugh McMahon sent out Tough Luck off a similar layoff to win on Friday to score at 4-1. Just watch Genie in a Bridle. There's no quit going down to the second wire. Yes, the vet scratch was claim was voided by the vet, and then a vet scratch. But I just trust this barn, and I trust this horse. This horse is very consistent.
I think she's okay. Two-mile workout since. I know that's his game. You know, been tough on the old mare, right? She's not that old at 5, but yeah, right back in here. Coal Mine, Spirited Ride, maybe the beneficiaries of this scratch of the outside horse, who I thought was going to be part of the flow. Watch Your Tone. Coal Mine really good 2 races back. Last time out, they just went too fast, shortening up. She's not as quick as Neolithica, Hot Dance, and those other horses. I think she's going to be back and forward. She was very eager to the lead 2 races back. It'll be interesting to see if she goes. Spirited Ride, the natural progression of stretch out. Is it going to work?
I think it certainly could work, and I think if you just looked at the form without reading the conditions, you're saying, what a suspicious drop, winning for 12-5 and down for 5. I think this horse is perfectly entered. That last race was a non-winners of 3 life, now stepping up into the non-winners of 4 life. This horse ran just fine last time out. Had to work hard through a second quarter mile in 23.45, and then got the better of them in the stretch. 7 of 8 lifetime in the exacta, and I just think sits off Coal Mine. I like that Coal Mine gets Jan Rodriguez back, because you saw what Jan did. I thought that was a brilliant ride.
It was, yeah.
Nobody wanted the lead. He rushed up 3 wide on the first turn, and the next thing you know, he controlled it, and this horse sprinted home. I think that this horse is going to get to the front and is very dangerous. What about the Haunted Room?
Yeah.
He sometimes outruns his odds.
Like the horse last time, 20-1, made a good run, caught 4 wide, inside again. This is the horse that you can't leave out of your exactas tries. It's super fresh.
Can't leave him out of your exactas.
No, we know what we're getting. We know what we're getting with her. She's just a trier. A little adversity last time out. She's going to give you an effort. She just hasn't quite followed through recently, like we thought she was going to. She's been tough. I hope she finds a good home. She's been a nice mare.
Lots of seconds and thirds in her careers, but she's hit the board in her last 4 starts. She's real solid. 5-2-4-1 for Keith, 5-6-1-2 for me. We'll see if Genie in a Bridle comes back flying. Top play time for today.
I was all around.
Where are you going?
I was all over. We'll go race 5, Ellinger. I'm going to take the shot. The breeding with Vacoma, the draw, the trouble last time, but the bottom side breeding, that really speaks volumes. I think this horse has enough speed to get, overcome that outer post. Get up there early, stalk and pounce, go on with it for Team Frock.
I'm going with a horse that I've been following for a while now. Race number 6, the number 6, Mr. Agent. I just think a good trip is coming for this horse. I think can sit second or third, ready to pounce. And I just think maybe at this distance is better than the horse he has to catch late. We'll see what Mr. Agent does in race number 6. 26 minutes to post to the opener on Memorial Day. The main track is fast. The turf course is firm. The sun is out. It is a beautiful day at the racetrack. Callie Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave Rodman will take you through the Memorial Day action, and we'll go up to Dave for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck. Have a good day.